Hello, today is Thursday, February 26th. Wanted to make an update on yesterday's video. Obviously, today was very interesting and it proved my hypothesis incorrect. It's stock market is funny or interesting in that way where, maybe your general hypothesis can be right, but price can react in a completely different way. Um, Maybe it was positioning that was way too bullish NVIDIA, and so everyone dumped immediately, or um, you know, who knows what else. I mean, that positioning idea pretty is probably the strongest one. So just to recap, the idea I had in yesterday's video was that given sort of how NVIDIA had been trading the last 7, 8 months, the fact that it had been specifically uh, consolidating, and the fact that we saw a nice ramp into yesterday's earnings, and the fact that my system broke out bullish, all of that made me think that we were actually set up quite nicely for some kind of bullish reaction, or the earnings were going to be positive. That was initially true, right? If you are able to trade after hours, then great, right? I think Nvidia was up 4% at one point or something like that. S&P was up maybe 40 basis points. But it failed as the evening went on, and then it failed in this morning. We had a pretty sharp reaction, but due to rotation, uh, things were kind of saved. So let's kind of digest a little bit. So here's NVIDIA. Here's today. That is so ugly. The thing I'll say is that when you have this kind of high to low day, I do generally think that the next day you get some kind of a bounce. Um, so I am kind of looking for that. That's not a strong. Um, I'm not. I don't have any like specific ideas based off of that, but it is a pattern that happens when you're basically have this big gap uh, towards the middle of a trading range. You tend to see some kind of reversal. But let's kind of just go through and see what else happened. Um, S&P, Nasdaq, they all sold off. Actually, well, let's just go to the chart, so it's easier. So let's see. So today, right here. So um, what basically happened was we got rotation out of tech into equal weight and IWM to some extent. Momentum did poorly, and if the market did kind of give you a gift this morning, which was, you know, it's 9:40. You look at your position. You're like, well, I did want to be long stocks, but Nasdaq is failing. Uh, Nasdaq is underperforming, right? Right here. Like, let me just hedge out. So, if the main idea was, I think there's going to be bullish reaction to Nvidia earnings, we saw the bullish reaction to Nvidia earnings. We failed below Nvidia earnings, and it's not even so much so that Nvidia failed, it's that tech failed. And I think that's a very critical part of this, which is uh, it's one thing to say Nvidia fails, but it was a mass rotation out of tech, out of NASDAQ into equal weight. And so I think that was the key idea this morning. If we had seen rotation out of NVIDIA into other mega cap tech, then maybe we would have seen a green day today, right? But that's not what happened. Kind of the sign that, we weren't really going to fail today was definitely equal weight surviving this sell off. So, like, right around here. This is when things got scary. There was this moment where it looked like equal weight was going to fail on the day too. we got a little bounce, and things sort of stayed alive from there on. Um, what else happened today? So, um, let's see. So, TLT or bonds did okay. Um, you know, I would assume we saw some rotation from stocks into bonds. Um, Oil is sort of in this nowhere territory. We're looking for clarification on the geopolitical risk. We're not completely getting it. Gold, I don't really have anything to say right now. I think these post sell off consolidation periods are the most difficult to trade. It's still kind of just about like uh, positioning and there it's very idiosyncratic. Um, and here's where we saw like real panic moment, right? This is where equal weight almost failed. Um, and then, but we bounced, we survived, and as soon as you bounce and survive and actually see rotation into equal weight, like you're pretty much okay. Um, that's all conditional, of course. Like I think that's the important thing to that I'm trying to communicate here, which is uh, the idea was there's going to be a bullish reaction to NVIDIA earnings, but that failed. So that idea is off the table. Similarly, here, I didn't think stocks were really going to fail because equal weight was still doing decently. If that really started to fail, I would think differently. So, you basically have to change your mind twice a day with stocks. At least if your, you know, time horizon is 1 day or 2 days or something like that. Um, I think that like multi-week period is very difficult to trade with stocks. So much can change, as you can see based on this one video. Anyways, I'm kind of letting this drag on a bit. So I'll end it there. Um, I really have no idea what we're going to see tomorrow. I don't really have any ideas. I would probably lean slightly bullish. I think that's like the safer bet. Even though we are down after hours, I am kind of expecting a bounce in tech. Um, but we'll see. This is what I'm saying now at 9:45 a.m. tomorrow. I could be saying the same thing or something else. So yeah. Anyways, good luck out there. Subscribe to the channel. Check out my Substack. It's in the description for any sort of more long form content that's not just market updates. And good luck.